We're staying at Mermaid Cottage, she added. And we're at Dolphin Cottage, said Kirsty. Do you think we might be near each other? I hope so, Rachel replied. She had a feeling she was going to like Kirsty. Kirsty leaned over the rail and looked down into the shimmering water. The sea looks really deep, doesn't it? She said. There might even be mermaids down there watching us right now. Rachel stared at the waves. She saw something that made her heart skip a beat. Look, she said. Is that a mermaid's hair? Then she laughed, when she saw that it was just seaweed. It could be a mermaid's necklace, said Kirsty, smiling. Maybe she lost it when she was trying to escape from a sea monster. The ferry was now sailing into Rainspell's tiny harbour. Seagulls flew around them and fishing boats bobbed on the water. Look at that big white cliff over there, Kirsty said. She pointed it out to Rachel. It looks a bit like a giant's face, doesn't it? Rachel looked and nodded. Kirsty seemed to see magic everywhere. There you are, Rachel, called Mrs. Walker. Rachel turned round and saw her mum and dad coming out onto the deck. We'll be getting off the ferry in a few minutes, Mrs. Walker added. Mum, Dad, this is Kirsty, Rachel said. She's staying at Dolphin Cottage. That's right next door to ours, said Mr. Walker. I remember seeing it on the map. Rachel and Kirsty looked at each other in delight. I'd better go and find my mum and dad, said Kirsty. She looked round. Oh, here they are. Kirsty's mum and dad came over to say hello to the Walkers. Then the ferry docked, and everyone began to leave the boat. Our cottages are on the other side of the harbour, said Rachel's dad, looking at the map. It's not far. Mermaid Cottage and Dolphin Cottage were right next to the beach. Rachel loved her bedroom, which was high up in the attic. From the window, she could see the waves rolling onto the sand. A shout from outside made her look down. It was Kirsty. She was standing under the window waving at her. Let's go and explore the beach, Kirsty called. Rachel dashed outside to join her. Seaweed lay in piles on the sand, and there were tiny pink and white shells dotted about. I love it here already, Rachel shouted happily above the noise of the seagulls. Me too, Kirsty said. She pointed up at the sky. Look! The rainbow's still there. Rachel looked up. The rainbow glowed brightly among the fluffy white clouds. Have you heard the story about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Kirsty asked. Rachel nodded. Yes, but that's just in fairy stories, she said. Kirsty grinned. Maybe, but let's go and find out for ourselves. Okay, Rachel agreed. We can explore the island at the same time. They rushed back to tell their parents where they were going. Then Kirsty and Rachel set off along a lane behind the cottages. It led them away from the beach, across green fields, and towards a small wood. Rachel kept looking up at the rainbow. She was worried that it would start to fade now that the rain had stopped. But the colours stayed clear and bright. It looks like the end of the rainbow is over there, Kirsty said. Come on. And she hurried towards the trees. The wood was cool and green after the heat of the sun. Rachel and Kirsty followed a winding path until they came to a clearing. Then they both stopped and stared. The rainbow shone down onto the grass through a gap in the trees. And there, at the rainbow's end, lay an old black pot. A tiny surprise. Look, Kirsty whispered. There really is a pot of gold. It could just be a cooking pot, Rachel said doubtfully. Some campers might have left it behind. But Kirsty shook her head.